they're fine.
Man's
Oh, I knew it.
alive on the weekly recap on the podcast today. Is that what we're calling it? The
Just the
podcast?
podcast for today.
Absolutely. Because next Friday, Fantasy Friday, will be the new unveiling of our new name for the podcast.
Get hyped. Get
What a
hyped.
cliffhanger, I know. That's why we say it now so everyone can listen to it. I'm like, oh my God, they're changing the name. This stuff at the end of the video and everyone's off. So, new name for Fantasy Friday is coming up. This is gonna be the last podcast in Ottawa for Mr. Malcolm here.
From what? In Ottawa? Yeah, I'll be moving up to St. Kitts next week. But I think you might see me here for Friday because we'll probably also be here because I'm moving up Friday, right? So I'll get it done before then. And you'll probably see the same background, but next Friday, this is the last time you'll see this background, the Habs
Say
poster and
a couple
whatnot.
fans might be happy not to see that anymore.
The open closet, the nice mirror in the background, and me right there, back there, like you said before. So, yeah, you'll see a different background next Saturday for the weekly recap, and some maybe new additions to the set as well.
Very new, very very hyped. We'll almost drop the name, but it's gonna have some major upgrades. That is for sure.
I can't wait. But yeah, we're gonna get into this weekly
What else you
recap.
can't wait for, Malcolm, is the NBA playoffs.
Yeah, the playoffs begin on Monday, so it's 2 days from now. 2 days, the NBA playoffs begin. So we're gonna get into the matchups. The matchups in the East, we have Milwaukee against Orlando. Great series in my opinion. Toronto versus Brooklyn. I think that'll be a walk away. Boston versus Philly. You love to see that, but we get into it. Some injuries affecting that series. And then Miami versus the Indiana Pacers, and the Pacers have been red hot with a few players. So I think, and we've seen the one player who is able to lock up TJ Warren has been Mr. Jimmy Buckets himself. So that will be an interesting series as well. What's the most intriguing matchup for you in the East?
Boston, Philly.
Yeah.
One of the most well-known franchises in the States. Al Horford gets a crack at his old team in Boston. Missing Ben Simmons for the series, and he's the one that likes to stir the pot a lot. Hopefully Joel Embiid can be healthy to play, because again, he's another guy that likes to stir the pot.
Yeah.
But Jason Tatum kind of picked it up after getting his haircut in the bubble.
Yeah, after that first game.
After letting Malcolm down, we all know how he felt after that.
2 for 18.
3 for 18. Come on.
He changed since. He's changed. He heard me on the podcast.
But I think Boston's going to come out the victors, but I think it's going to be a great series, like playoff basketball. I think it's going to be very, very stereotypical playoff basketball with that series, but I think the most highly contested series is going to be Miami and Indiana. Hopefully get another part 2 between Jimmy Buckets and TJ Warren, like a little fisticuffs action.
Yeah.
That would probably be the best series out of the 4. How about you?
That's what I was about to say, same thing. Jimmy Buckets versus TJ Warren. TJ Warren trying to make a case for the MVP bubble. The bubble MVP this year, but we'll get into that later. But those two going at it, Jimmy Buckets the only one to see, like in the bubble, like it seems to be able to lock up TJ Warren and keep him cold against them when they played that first time. And then, the second time both of them sat out because they already made the playoffs, so they weren't risking any injuries. But I think that's going to be a very, very, very intriguing matchup. And then when we get to the West, I like these matchups in the West. So the first one, we have the Lakers versus the Blazers. We have the Clippers versus the Mavericks, the Denver Nuggets versus Utah Jazz, and OKC Thunder versus Houston Rockets. I'll tell you my most intriguing matchup first. They're all intriguing, but one that I really am going to pay attention to is Carmelo's comeback tour against the Lakers, against LeBron's legacy at stake. Because if LeBron cannot pull out this win, and I think LeBron's the GOAT, you think LeBron's the GOAT, correct? If LeBron cannot pull out this win, I think it damages his legacy it damages his legacy greatly. Like that Jordan versus LeBron talks. People are like, oh well, LeBron's number one seed can't even beat the Dame's Blazers who struggled, but last year they even made it to the conference finals. They've been hot, and then you have Carmelo with the dagger 3 today against Memphis, securing that win. You have Dame, who's just been all around just fantastic, MVP for sure. But Lakers Blazers, I'm going to be watching that one for sure. Honestly, the Blazers can upset the Lakers if the Lakers aren't on top of their game, and they haven't been on top of their game in the bubble so far. Maybe it's a lack of concentration. Maybe it's because, okay, we're a first seed. We've already in, like, we don't care. But maybe they're actually just not having good chemistry right now. The Blazers can take advantage. Dame Time, CJ McCollum, and Carmelo Anthony. That's my Selly, even if you don't remember it, intramural basketball.
Oh, because you didn't make much baskets, so I mean, I really don't
wet. But yeah, I think that one's one to look out for. How about you?
Oh, the one underneath that we just listed off. It's the Clippers against the Mavs.
Yeah, I was going to say that's
really excited to see the Claw against Doncic. That's going to be a very, very contested matchup. It's going to be wicked, and you might see even Kawhi against Kristaps. Maybe, just maybe. Then PG on Luka. It's going to be unreal. But I think the Clipper, I can't sleep on my sleeper pick to win it all in the Utah Jazz.
Yeah, I was about
the Nuggets. It's going to be a tough matchup for them. But I'm still sticking with them. You know, there was a great odds at the start of the year. So maybe, like, they're obviously missing Bogdanovich due to him not breaking his hand. But hopefully they can muster up some confidence and turn some heads in Orlando.
Okay, I'm just going to talk about this last matchup here. So, like, the OKC versus Houston, I'm intrigued in that one too. But we also know, I'll mention this earlier on too. Westbrook will miss. He will miss part of the series due to a quad injury. So that's going to damage, like, how well I think, like, people are going to tune into this, because we all know about
I don't think so.
We all know about CP3 getting traded.
It's his revenge tour, man.
Exactly. For obviously Westbrook and James Harden going off. You can't ignore James Harden.
And the best Canadian in the NBA right now, and Shai
Gilgeous-Alexander. Yeah, 100%. So who knows? But can we just talk about for a second how the Phoenix Suns went 8-0 and yet did not make the playoffs? How mad do you think Devin Booker is that if that he won one more game in the regular season before Corona, one more game if they won, that's what people forget, I think, about sports, is that every game actually, and that's regardless of the bubble situation, you get down to those last few games in the season, regardless of Corona. Let's say it was a regular season. You were a game out, half a game out. You won one more game earlier on in the season where you should have won. You would have made the playoffs. That's where every game counts. You can go 8-0 in the bubble, and yet they still didn't make it. So I feel for Devin Booker. He was snubbed an All-Star this year, All-Star position. He was been busting his ass off to get them back into the playoffs, but obviously that didn't happen this year.
Yeah, you didn't happen to see the coach Monty Williams' speech after they won that game?
No.
Very inspirational. Look at
very
him.
Inspirational.
Very inspirational.
Flight reacts.
What was he gonna say? Oh, but yeah, like, I think they put the whole league on notice. I think they definitely gained the respect of a lot of peers. Going the only team going a perfect record in the bubble and missing the playoffs. But I think I think the Blazers are going to give LeBron the Lakers the best chance to win.
A run for their money.
Yes, rather than Memphis and rather than
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, those two. I think the Blazers, exactly like you said, they're going to be the most competitive team. So like we said, the Blazers defeat the Grizzlies in the play-on round just by 4 points, 126 to 122. Dame was voted the bubble MVP. So like we said, the Suns
very much deserved.
Yeah, obviously after missing those 2 free throws against the Clippers, he went off, scored back-to-back 60 points, right? And one of only 2 players to ever do that, the other being Mr. Wilt Chamberlain. So that's not a big deal. Wilt's just averaging 50 points a game through his career. So Dame being able to do that, I think a lot of people were like, damn, Dame, go off. But a team that missed the playoffs.
Damn, Dame.
a team that missed the playoffs, maybe like the Detroit Red Wings or old Detroit Red Wings of the NBA, the San Antonio Spurs. Their postseason streak comes to an end at 22 seasons, but they also did play one less game.
Whatever.
Whatever. Like you got one more. That's where that kind of bugs me because, like I said, every game counts. So they deserve to have that extra game, but no one's going to talk about it. The season's already over. Playoffs are ready to go. So we'll see what happens there. Sad for the Spurs and DeMar DeRozan. He deserves a lot better, in my opinion. Obviously, you think so too, being a Raptors fan, being on the Raptors for so long. He deserves a lot. He's a grindy player, very underrated. But there's postseason streak comes to an end at
as well.
Seasons.
Sorry to cut you off, but you know what the longest postseason streak is now, currently in the NBA? Houston Rockets at 8 seasons.
8? So they were second behind them.
A long ways to go.
Jeez, yeah, a very long way. Mr. Jimmy Buckets himself, Jimmy Butler, calls out Chris Paul. So it stemmed from CP3 tossing the ball at the Heat player Duncan Robinson. Butler said, "You mess with one of my guys, especially one of my shooters, then you got to deal with me and everybody else." Jimmy just loves the drama, in my opinion. I think he just loves the drama, in my opinion. But he's just trying to stir the pot a little bit there. He's like, they don't have to worry about each other. They're not going to see each other unless they both win in their respective matchups all the way going to the finals. So they don't have to worry about that. Beef, we don't see any beef between them. Giannis was suspended for 1 game for headbutting Wizards center Moritz Wagner. And later on,
Moritz Wagner is German. It's a German.
Later on, Giannis it was nothing personal. I just got the best of him, some anger. He was just heated. So he got a 1-game suspension for headbutting
Only suspension I think he's ever going to get in his NBA career.
Yeah, because he's the face of the league at this point. So it's kind of like a Sidney Crosby. Like, remember when Sidney Crosby chopped off Mark Mathot's finger and nothing happened to him?
Oh, that was brutal.
It's kind of like that, where he's not going to get he's not going to get anything called at him because the refs PG-13 kids turn away, They ride him.
Just little quick OTPHJ underneath the stands.
Okay,
outside the pants.
I understood it. I understood it. I don't think we'd have to explain it. If you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. Players will be allowed now to bring up to 4 guests into the bubble after the first round of the playoffs. But some rules to that is they have to have known them. It can't be like a Tinder date. It has to be like a family member who they've known. As they want it. And then, do you think this will be pulled off safely? Do you think it'll be? So. I don't think so either. That's gonna ruin it. You're allowing players to pull them in now. It's not going to go well, in my opinion. There's going to be a few people who get caught. You already see Lou Williams going to a strip joint. Probably going to bring one of them. He's going to bring one of them back home at some point and have his way with them. I was waiting for Jay to crack there. Took a little while longer than I expected, but yeah, I don't see it being successful. Clippers assistant Ty Lue will be leading candidate for several head coaching positions this offseason. I think he's kind of a bit overrated for a head coach position, not going to lie, just because when he was in Cleveland in his last best head coaching career, you had LeBron basically coaching that team. Ty Lue was just standing there.
The most overrated
LeBron, you can just carry the team, tell them what to do. I'll stand here with a clipboard. I'll write a few plays here and there.
The most overrated head coach in the league is Steve Kerr, hands down.
Okay. Oh no, I agree with that. I agree with that. Yeah, because look at the talent he has.
You saw what happened there last year or this year.
Exactly. What did they do without their star players? Nothing. And
the Duke of Motto I see on the floor is what they did.
Yeah, that's what I think they did. That's very true. But Chauncey Billups would be lead assistant. Chauncey, my man. Honestly, NBA legend, in my opinion. Being the lead assistant. Jay puts here, fuck yeah. Yes, please. Yes, please. Yeah, so that's some exciting news, but some not so pleasant news. The Bulls fired coach Jim Boylan. So he had a record of 39-84 over his 2 seasons at the helm in Chicago. So Kenny Atkinson and Wes Unseld, early favorites for the job in Chicago. Atkinson's a great coach. Pardon?
Kenny Atkinson's a great coach. Got stiffed in Brooklyn. I don't know why they fired Kenny Atkinson. because it's kind of again dumpster fire in Brooklyn from all the
Brooklyn's
personalities they had to deal with. But he led them to the playoffs last year with not like kind of sort of like a bunch of, I want to say nobodies, but like no stars. He's a
other
good
than
coach.
Zach LaVine, other than him. But yeah, but
Kobe
a
White.
good coach. We're talking about good coaches, right? Brad Stevens, Celtics extended him. I think that's not a big deal at all. That was expected. We don't know the logistics or like the money involved right now. We might hear about that. It's going to be quite a few $1 million. If you ask me. Brad Stevens doing a great job year in and year out with the team that he's been coaching. Damian Lillard, like we said earlier, joins Wilt Chamberlain as the only two players in NBA history to score 60 points in a game 3 times in a season. So he dropped 61 this past week versus the Mavs. You know, Kristaps and Luka in that game, they dropped 61, the two of them combined. And Dame did it by himself. Dame's just on another level right now. And like we said before.
And he dropped a couple songs live from the bubble. Give it a listen. 3 songs. Dame Dollar.
But like we said before, Dame's just been going off. He's been snapping. So obviously bubble MVP. Joel Embiid, he left Wednesday's game early versus Raptor with a right hand injury. Do you think, this is my question to you, do you think that ever since Simmons got injured, Embiid's kind of got scared about being that main guy in Philly right now?
I think he's got too big of a personality to say no.
Yeah.
He wants us to be the center of attention, whether it's negatively or positively affecting him.
Yeah.
So he's kind of injury prone. So, I mean, it doesn't surprise me that he's leaving games with injuries because he's just a walking Band-Aid. Like, he missed his first, year and a half with a foot injury, right? And that stemmed from college. Yeah, and so forget that now, but he's a walking Band-Aid. I don't know like what they have to do to keep him conditioned well, but they got to think of something out there in Philly.
Yeah, hopefully, obviously, I don't wish for anyone's injury, so hopefully he recovers soon, and then it could be a competitive matchup against Boston. The Blazers guard, C.J. McCollum, announced he's been playing with a fractured foot since last Thursday.
Fractured back.
So we've seen – pardon?
Fractured back.
Oh, fractured back. I don't know. I just can't read. A fractured back. So that's even worse since last Thursday. And yet he still was pulling some nice shots today.
Some pull-out shots tonight.
Yeah, some very nice shots. So I don't think that back's obviously been bugging him, but it didn't hinder his performance on the court today. Commissioner Adam Silver says that the NBA is not bubble or bust next year, but the NBA is considering 4 bubbles for next season, like 4 potential, like at the same time.
Regional.
So some other cities that they're talking, so they're saying Disney is a given because it's worked so well so far. New York because they have the 2 courts there, and they're saying Dallas. Well, New York's been getting better. We know it was a cesspool at the beginning, but with Governor Cuomo doing they've been actually getting better. And then Dallas they host the men's and the women. They have 2 courts for men's and the NBA and WNBA courts.
I would think Minnesota.
There as well. You think Minnesota? So this was just, I was reading an article and they're saying Dallas could be a potential city. Yeah, so where would you think some other good options would be, like Minnesota,
because you have the Lynx and you have T-Wolves.
Yeah.
Don't want to be a homer, but Toronto.
Yeah, obviously Canada, man.
It's the best it's probably the best city that you can probably think of in the 30 teams that are there that are dealing with COVID, and it's probably the best.
Yeah, because it's Canadian.
Numbers-wise. And you have Rico, you have the ACC, or with the Scotiabank Arena now, fuckers.
Yeah.
But I think that's probably the best option, but you can't be shipping players in and out.
Yeah, you can't be doing that. It's going to be tough for their families and everything to stay away from their families and everything, and maybe they will be able to bring families into the bubble like they are doing now, but who knows? That's for next season. The NBA also announced their all-bubble first team. So their all-bubble first team is Damian Lillard, Devin Booker, Luka Doncic, James Harden, and T.J. Warren. Do you think there's been any snubs, or do you like this list?
The only thing I don't like is all these guys are basically guards.
Yeah, exactly. You don't see any centers. You don't see any big forwards on there, right?
I think Anthony Davis should be on this team.
Yeah.
Because he's been balling out since he's got to the bubble. He's probably the best player on the Lakers scoring wise. LeBron averaging a big 10.2 assists per game, career high for the guy.
Come on, LeBron's the GOAT. He's the GOAT.
Unbelievable at 36 years old, and he's getting career highs in points
in assists.
Yes.
That's crazy.
So there's no signs of him slowing down. So I would maybe. I don't want to say switch out James Harden, but I do want to say switch out James Harden for
the bubble, Davis,
because you can't knock Dame, you can't knock D Book, and you can't knock TJ Warren because they've been absolutely unreal.
They just on another level. Like you think about it, like they've carried their teams single-handedly. In my opinion, they've carried their team single-handedly to where they are now. Lillard, especially, you can't leave out Lillard, and then Devin Booker obviously going 8-0 and everything. But yeah, I totally agree.
Did you see the trophy that Dame Lillard got for
the Mickey Mouse? Like I couldn't tell if that was photoshopped or not. I didn't know. Is it not photoshopped?
No.
Is that like the real trophy? That's funny. Jeez, I thought that was photoshopped. Not gonna lie. But we have some big news out of GM positions and coaching positions. So Vlad Divac steps down.
Whoa. Sorry.
I don't know how to pronounce it.
Divac.
Steps down as the Kings.
I apologize to all the NBA fans out there.
I'm sure they're listening at this point. He steps down as the Kings general manager right now. The Kings obviously not making it.
Just so we have this on reference, Divac, what'd you say?
Divac. Man, I'm sorry. I'm used to members at the courts, and I've seen names with VAC. I've seen names with VAC, and they told me to pronounce it Vach. They told me that.
You're never gonna hear them in this now.
Okay, well, whatever.
Might be in the comments.
But it'll be in the episode description. Wow. Yeah, Jay's the one who comes up with those. I just have to correct his grammar errors. He steps up. What do you think about him stepping down as the Kings general manager?
Well, if you don't know, Vlade Divac is like somebody I know, but
yeah,
that's kind of crazy. He's been there for quite a while in the Sacramento organization, but we really haven't heard much about the Sacramento organization probably until this season. You have De'Aaron Fox, who's going to be a great player in the league at some point. Buddy Hield, turning some heads. Alex Len is a great player that really no one talks about. He's been playing very well. So, but they really haven't made the playoffs since who knows how long, right? So I mean, I think he probably should have been fired, but his name's Vlade Divac. So I mean, that's why he's not.
Yeah. Then you see the Pelicans parting ways with Coach Alvin Gentry. So they obviously didn't make the playoffs this year with Zion. But I didn't expect, like you said, you thought they're going to find a way. The NBA was going to rig it right to get Zion in the playoffs there.
That's why he got fired. He had all the stars were aligned for them to make the playoffs, and they did not.
Yeah, and then you had these other teams balling out, like completely just play.
The drive wasn't there.
Yeah, these other teams, just like Memphis, Portland, and everyone, they're just pulling stuff out of their behinds to make sure that they made it to the play-in qualifying round and then the playoffs eventually. And then we saw some scary stuff. Derek Jones Jr. was stretched off the court after a collision. I didn't see it personally. Did you get to see the collision?
Yeah, it was off a hard screen, and he just went down in a heap. And
damn,
that was very weird. Like it's almost like the Jake Muzzin play, where it was really a nothing play, but
it was weird.
It was just awkward. But he's just been diagnosed with the neck strain, so he's going to be all right.
Okay, that's some good news. So that caps off for the NBA. Jay's going to get into some footy.
I know I'm the bringer of good news. So we got the footy fix, and this week was the quarterfinals of the Champions.
And I tuned in for some Champions League action. Don't you worry.
It was some can't-miss TV, folks.
Yeah.
Paris Saint-Germain make a stunning comeback late in extra time to beat Italian side Atalanta in the aforementioned quarterfinals. And Kylian Mbappe was listed on the bench due to him returning from an ankle injury. Surprised he played because he did come on in the 60th minute, but that was probably due to them being down 1-0 in extra time. But then Brazilian center back Marquinhos and Eric Maxime Choupo-Moting, the mouthful, both scored in the 90th and 93rd minute respectively to stun the Italian side and move on to the semis. This would be
Crazy.
PSG's first appearance in the Champions League semifinal since 1995. Oh, they should be winning the
Jeez.
Champions League, baby. Put my money, place the bet as
You
soon as they
told them. You said it. You called it.
place the bet as soon as they won. They're going to be winning. They're your 2020 Champions League winners.
Wow, you placed the bet. Wow.
Absolutely. But
Huge.
Brazilian star Neymar was buzzing the whole game. I think if they would have lost, I think Neymar would have taken a lot of heat because he had, I would say, like 2 glaring empty net chances and missed them both.
Yeah.
So it's a good thing they won because I'm sure Neymar would have heard it in the pressers. RB Leipzig make a kind of an upset against Atletico Madrid, winning 2-1. 21-year-old American Tyler Adams scored in the 88th minute to sink Atletico. This was his first goal with the club. What an entrance for the kid.
That's crazy. Like, that's a big moment for him.
Yeah, and I think it proves a lot that they can win without the star and Timo Werner now in Chelsea. So they'll be moving on to the Champions League semifinals to play PSG.
Damn.
This was the first time that Diego Simeone's side has been eliminated in the knockout stage by a team that did not have Cristiano Ronaldo.
Wow.
Yeah. And probably the biggest talk of Champions League this week was the absolutely unbelievable score between Bayern Munich and Barcelona. As Malcolm put it, Bayern anals Barcelona 8-2. It was 4-1 and through the first 41 minutes of play.
What do you mean I put it like that? You're the soccer guy. You do all this stuff.
Oh, really? And I think the talk of that whole game was how great Alphonso Davies played. And this is not Canadian media, excuse me. This is coming from the whole entire world. He put on a display. And if anyone didn't watch that game, he put the works on Nelson Semedo, put it through him, see you later, and then tossed it up perfectly for Gnabry.
Right in the box.
Oh, it's just poetry.
Right in the box.
Poetry in motion. I think that, and from that game, I think there is no doubt now that he is the best left back in the world.
100%. Come on, Alphonso Davies is making us Canadians proud. So proud.
And he's only, 20 years old.
He's our age. We're doing this podcast, and he's out there scoring these goals.
Killing ass and taking names.
Yeah.
But Barcelona will now fire their manager, Quique Setien, after the beatdown of 8-2. No shock here. Absolutely no shock.
Come on now.
And then the final quarterfinal game is that just transpired today. Lyon stunned Manchester City 3-1. Did not see this one coming at all. Did not at all. Did I mention I didn't see this coming at all?
You didn't see this coming at all.
I don't know. I think it's very disappointing to see Manchester City leave. And from a French side of Lyon who really doesn't have much names to the squad. Obviously, you have Moussa Dembele in your midfielder. You have Memphis Depay as your striker, but they should have dominated, but they didn't. So Lyon's moving on, and they're going to be playing the aforementioned Bayern Munich, and it should be Bayern that should come out the victors again. So you're looking at a shape down between PSG and Bayern Munich in your Champions League final, August 29th.
Damn.
Woo-hoo-hoo. Juventus is looking to get Cristiano Ronaldo's wage off their books.
Wow.
Spanish reporter Guillaume Baleg is reporting that Juve have offered Ronaldo, quote, everywhere, including Barcelona. Do you think you'll ever see a Ronaldo-Messi combo right now?
Are you kidding me? If they don't win, if they get on the same team and they don't win, how would I don't know how that would look.
Money, bro. You know how much money Barcelona will be paying everybody on that team? How could they be coming out as how could you be making money? How?
You can't.
It's unbelievable. Your front three will consist of Ronaldo, Messi, and Luis Suarez.
That's crazy. Oh my gosh.
And Antoine Griezmann off the bench.
Not even starting. Oh my gosh.
Unfair.
I would love to see it.
Just hold on. Just pause for a second. Just let me contain my composure again.
Let that sink in. Let that sink in. Okay, we're ready. I think we're ready.
David Beckham's side, Inter Miami of the MLS, have made a deal in place to sign French international and Juve midfielder Blaise Matuidi. Great signing for MLS. Get another high-profile player to come and play in North American soil, and kind of still has some soccer left in him. I think he's just in his early 30s now, so he'll probably have a couple good years in the MLS. Ronaldo has not let the door close on MLS, so who the hell knows if Juve wants him gone. Maybe he makes his way to the MLS. Wouldn't that be something? Kai Havertz is now asked to leave Bayer Leverkusen, and Chelsea, as we said in the previous podcast, are the favorites to land a 21-year-old wonder kid. Mm-hmm. Chelsea might be the Prem champs next year.
Wow, big statement here.
Belgian international center-back Jan Vertonghen has joined Portuguese side SL Benfica. I don't like the deal because Benfica doesn't have much exposure, obviously, but it's a great place to fucking live. Like, Benfica's gorgeous. And Jan Vertonghen is going down to the latter end of his career, so maybe just a little retirement gig, play in a nice area, just chillax and play maybe some medieval games once every 2 weeks in Champions League. It's perfect. It's great.
Chillaxing.
Like we said last week, we got Jadon Sancho news again. He has been urged by Dortmund to end Manchester United talk, and Dortmund want United to publicly state that Sancho is staying with Dortmund. It sounds like a soap opera, no?
Yeah, it's weird. It's kind of like back and forth, too much drama for me.
You're the drama secret, no?
Huh?
You're a big drama guy, no?
No.
Oh,
no.
You're not?
No. No, I'm not Jimmy Buckets.
Real Madrid says there will not be any new signings this offseason. It's okay. Their squad's already pretty disgusting.
Yeah, they're nasty.
The defending La Liga champs, so why change anything?
Yeah.
This is fantastic. Reportedly, the entire Valencia squad is up for sale.
What?
I think that's absolutely amazing. They have a great striker by the name of Rodrigo, who happens to be play on Valencia, and he's probably going to command a lot of money to be playing somewhere else. But he's 28, so I mean he's just ending the prime of his soccer career. So maybe he finds a new home somewhere, but he is probably the poster boy for Valencia football. Thiago and Liverpool have officially begun talks. Like we've said, it's probably going to be around the $24 to $30 million range for see where the Brazilian midfielder goes from Bayern. And finally, the Portland Timbers win the MLS is Back tournament over, I put this in quotations, hosts Orlando SC because it was in Orlando.
Yeah. But, yeah, I don't know. The MLS tournament was kind of whack. Yeah, I don't think a lot of people tuned into that.
So lower than what you get from the Champions League, obviously, and any European domestic league. It's no comparison.
Not even close. But we bring it on to the American football once again, which is the NFL. The 49ers, they're making the big news with signing George Kittle to a 5-year, $75 million extension. So that's the richest deal for a tight end in NFL history. Also makes him like around the 12th highest receiver in the league. So that's pretty good for George Kittle. George Kittle, a big reason why the 49ers made it to the Super Bowl against the Kansas City Chiefs last year. So more than half of the contract is in guaranteed money. And this, like we said, this deal now makes him the 12th highest paid receiver. But like we said, the Chiefs also come out and pay their big guy, their tight end, Travis Kelce, to a 4-year contract extension. Before I ask you this question is, where is this money coming from for the Kansas City Chiefs? Yeah. How did they just pull it out of nowhere? Like, oh, we have this money here, this money here.
Yeah, we have not heard the logistics of his contract yet.
Yeah.
But I'm judging from anywhere how George Kittle's getting paid. It's pretty damn close, I would think.
It's close. I know the money is it's $54 million for 4 years. So 54. Yeah, well, that was out earlier on in the day, so you didn't do your research. But $54 million, they're paying him 4 years, and then 4 years. That's weird because Patty Mahomes came out and said 6 more years after Travis Kelce signed his contract. So maybe, does he have 2 years left on his current? So I guess that's probably why. So 6 more years left for the Kelce Mahomes little duo there. But who would you rather have? Would you rather have Travis Kelce as your tight end, or would you rather have Tyreek Hill as your prime receiver?
Yeah, I think they've made this decision very clear because I don't think, again, like you said, how are they getting this money? Because I think I think they just did choose between Kelce and Ty Hill because I don't think there's no way that Ty Hill is going to be taking any pay cuts because he deserves every dollar he's going to get. But I think Kelce does more for you than Tyreek Hill does.
Yeah,
blocks,
exactly.
Catches. But Ty Hill's a speed burner, and I think he's a game changer
in the league.
So I don't know. I think Casey, I would say, is more passing than running. So honestly, I think Ty Hill's more important to that team than Travis Kelce is.
You think Ty Hill's more important?
For the way they style their play, if they were more of a running team, I would say Kelce is, but they're more of a passing team. So I would say Ty Hill's more important.
Yeah, and I think Ty Hill, I think like you said, he's not going to take a pick up. I think he might.
No.
I think he might just to win those championships and chase after those titles because I think he can do it with Kansas City with Mahomes, and that franchise maybe continue and make a dynasty of that Kansas City Chiefs team. But who knows? It's only time. Are you there? Are we there? Are we
No.
live? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, keep going.
Okay, so they signed four-time Pro Bowler Everson Griffin, Dallas Cowboys, and their defense is now looking disgusting, if I do say so myself. But does this now make them division favorites?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We said here on Fantasy Fridays yesterday that the glaring hole for the Cowboys was up front in the front seven. And no, all I do is get a 4-time Pro Bowler in Everson Griffin. So
And they filled it up.
I think so, very much so. Him and DeMarcus Lawrence are going to be a disgustingly very good combo.
I can't believe that happened. I'm kind of cheesed. I hate the Cowboys so much, but they're going to be some force to reckon with next year. Some more Cowboys news. Dak Prescott says that he believes that he is going to play for the Dallas Cowboys for the rest of his career. So he wants to. He's planning on it. Hopefully,
Perfect.
like Jerry Jones.
They're never
Jerry
going to
Jones.
Super Bowl with Dak Prescott there, so it's perfect.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. Like Dak Prescott's not going to be your franchise quarterback to bring you to a Super Bowl and win that Super Bowl. So some good news for the rest of the league. Don't worry, you won't see Dallas lifting the Lombardi Trophy anytime soon. ESPN wanted to lure Rams head coach Sean McVay away from coaching to the Monday Night Football booth, which is kind of weird. But there is still no confirmed analyst to take over from Joe Tessitore and Booger McFarland. And I don't like listening to Booger. I don't know about you.
That's the legend himself, drawing dicks on screen. Absolute legend.
I just can't.
Remember that?
I remember that. I know what you're referring to. I just don't like listening to him talk on screen.
As you can see here, Joe, they're going to run the ball in the middle, and they did.
I don't know.
What was it? He's one Popeye's biscuit away from being a linebacker.
Yeah, I remember that. Some of his takes are just kind of far-fetched out there, but I don't know. I don't think Sean McVay is going to stray away from coaching those Rams. Those Rams obviously not being good since making it to the Super Bowl against the Patriots, but who knows? They still have some good players left on that team, and they can make a push for the playoffs this year. Deion Sanders chooses not to renew his contract with the NFL Network, so he doesn't want to do it. NBA.
Coaching. Watch out. He was offered FSU, Florida State's job last year. He denied it. He is going to go into head coaching in college football. Or
you think so?
I think it'd be great Monday Night Football too.
I would love to see him on Monday Night Football.
Prime time on prime time.
Exactly. I was about to say prime time on prime time would be the best thing to ever see in my life. But who knows? The only time will tell. But Deion Sanders, a personality himself, one of the biggest personalities in all football of all time. So to see him on primetime football, that'd be amazing.
He probably has the best soundbite ever in the NFL when he got drafted. Man, I was scared Detroit was going to take me. I was going to ask for so much money, they had to put me on layaway.
His personality is just out there. So I think everyone's a fan of Deion, and hopefully he comes to Monday Night Football. The NFL is still laser focused for an outdoor Super Bowl with fans on February 7th. Some more teams this year, though, have said, like the Houston Texans said they're not going to have any fans that first game against Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. And that's a Lamar versus Deshaun matchup. Yet you're going to have no fans. I think that's the right move by them. I think the NFL pushing for this. In my opinion, I think things will get better gradually with coronavirus. There will be a vaccine soon. Not as soon as we're all thinking like September. It's not going to be that quick.
The paint thinner vaccine that Russia has.
Yeah, it's not going to be like that one where you develop some strange side effects. But I think it's going to be coming. Jay said the new year. I think we're going to be around December, January, same time. So maybe there will be one by then, and then fans will be able to have a Super Bowl outdoors and go back to the Super Bowl with fans. But we don't know.
Parties that follow.
Exactly, but we don't know. Americans, you still don't deserve it. You guys are just so ignorant. There's some Canadians up here, I'm not going to lie, who are very ignorant as well. But it's more Americans. Just look at how things. I don't even want to get into it. Never mind. I'm not going to talk about it. The Seattle Seahawks cut Kimai Siverand. So he was a rookie for them after reportedly trying to sneak a woman in disguised as a player into the team hotel. So they tried to disguise her as a player. What do you think of this? Cutting him after doing it.
Absolute dog.
That's a dog move right there. But what do you think about the team cutting him after trying to do this? You think it was well deserved?
I think that's a very good message that they're not taking any guff.
Yeah, they're taking no, like, if you don't care about it,
Mr.
you gotta
think was looking for that piece of poontang pie, but apparently not.
He might have still got it, but he got cut in the he got cut in the long game here and affected his career. So we don't know how it's going to turn out. Maybe he'll sign with another team, but cut from the Seahawks. Seahawks don't want any time with him, any part to do with him. And then Anthony Lynn, so head coach of the Los Angeles Chargers, confirms he had COVID-19 on the Hard Knocks episode, in a Hard Knocks episode. So he was now the third confirmed coach to have it.
I swear this news was like released months ago, but apparently
I thought so too. I'm
just an insider for myself, so
whatever. Anthony then confirms it. Maybe there's like rumors that he had it, but he confirmed it himself that he had it.
Maybe that's another way to put it.
So there's probably a bunch of people that we don't know about, but that caps it off for the NFL and football. Jay, what about you? What's going on next?
First round of the playoffs in the NHL are fully underway, and just to get a rundown of the series list, we got a 2-1 lead for the Colorado Avalanche over the Arizona Coyotes. A big 2-0 lead in the Vancouver-St. Louis series.
That's huge.
Calgary is up 2-1 over the Dallas Stars. Vegas is up 2-0 over Chicago. Boston is up 2-1 over Carolina. Big news from Boston coming later.
Mm-hmm.
Tampa and Columbus are all square at ones as they play right now. Philly and Montreal are also all square at ones. And the New York Islanders are up 2-0 over the Washington Capitals. Who was your most intriguing matchup so far?
Okay, I won't talk about Montreal Canadiens because we know about them. I think it's a great matchup. I'm not like the most intriguing, but the one I'm most surprised by is Vancouver being nothing over St. Louis right now. And the fact that
you happened to watch Game 2 last night?
I got a few glimpses of it, yes.
Did you see Bo Horvat's goal?
Yeah, I did see Bo Horvat's goal.
Instant sportsgasm.
Yeah, it was disgusting.
My.
He has been going off.
Get the camera out.
He's been snapping lately. And the Vancouver Canucks, are showing up over the defending champ St. Louis Blues and chasing Binnington and winning an OT and everything. It's just crazy. Like, I don't know. It's just a surprise for me. I would have never expected that the Canucks would be so dominant right now. Obviously, it's only 2 games in, but they're up 2-0, and that's a strong series lead right now they have. But also, I am going to now talk about Philly Montreal. Philly, that first game, right? Went up 2-1. A few weird goals. Like the first one off Paul Byron's stick. The second one, another tip in front and a rebound. Well-deserved win for Philly. They kind of outplayed the Montreal Canadiens a little bit, but Canadiens are still there. But Montreal did go up and win 5-0 in that second game and just showed out. And Carey Price, he's just been playing phenomenal. Saved so many great saves. It's like game in and game out. He's upping himself every single night. So to see him coming and then the whole team playing collectively as a group, I love to see it. How about you? What are your favorite matchups?
I can't believe you just brushed over that Carey Price made the save at the playoffs on Scott Laughton with the stick.
Oh, I'm a Habs fan. Like I expect that thing from him. Come on.
I'm not surprised. Like, oh my God, Carey Price save!
Don't worry. In the moment, I was on my phone at work. I was like, oh my gosh, did he just do that? Did he just do that? But I'm containing myself right now. Don't you worry.
New York Islanders over Washington 2-0 right now is big. And I think that's the most least talked about series for whatever reason.
I think so too, yeah.
Game 2, this game was on FX, not Sportsnet, not Sportsnet 360,
FX.
not Sportsnet 1, FX.
That's weird. I don't know why. They're like Washington's like a good team. The Islanders aren't just that great, you know. They do have Mr. Pajot though.
And if the Islanders win it, I think an early candidate for Conn Smythe is Anthony Beauvillier. He has been falling out. Snapping. Unreal. He's got 4 goals in the playoffs. It seems like every time I turn on the TV and it's New York versus whoever, Beauvillier scoring.
But
great stuff from him.
I'm gonna also just mention Jesper Kotkaniemi also has 4 goals this playoffs, so maybe he can get Conn Smythe too.
Canes coach Rod Brindamore has been fined $25,000 after calling the NHL a joke for the Game 1 goal review. I would love to see your thoughts on this whole
situation. I can't believe they fined him $25,000 for his comment. He's completely right. When he talked about it, the ref came up to him and basically asked him, like, you make the call, Rod. Like, say, what do you want? And Rod's like, are you kidding me? Is this am I hearing this correctly? And you look at the replay, though. It wasn't the last goal in OT, but it was the goal go up like 2-1 or something for Boston. And it was clearly a hand pass. Like, he gloved it, hand pass and everything. And it should have been called down. And then there was question of whether the goaltender Peter Mrazek frees the puck or not. And the refs just aren't doing their job, and I agree with them that the league doing goal reviews the way that the NHL operates, instant replay and the refs going up to review, it's a joke. It is a joke because you've seen for many years them getting the call wrong even after reviewing the goal and reviewing what's going on the ice. So I think they have to kind of fix it. I don't know. It's just a joke. I can't believe you got fined that much money. What do you think about it?
Yeah, a lot of money. In the playoffs, I don't know. I think you got to expect that. Playoff hockey, I think there's going to be some scrutiny. So I don't get it. Canadiens coach Claude Julien is expected to make a full recovery after his heart procedure. If anyone's been living under a rock, who's an NHL fan, he had a stent put into an artery and if you're not medical doctors, it's to fix a heart attack, basically. So he is in Montreal now.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Cool, nice.
Pardon?
Captain Kirk Muller will be now taking the reign as the Habs won their Game 2 his first game behind the bench 5-0. So he's going to coach the rest of the series versus Philly, and I won't be surprised if he finishes out the rest of the playoffs as a coach.
But also, what's his name? Alain Vigneault came out and said, I can't believe they put their first power play on, and we're up 5-0. We've embarrassed ourselves enough, so I'm going to let our guys know next game that they know that. I'm like, you guys are professional athletes getting paid millions of dollars. If you're so embarrassed, play the game during the game. Don't cry about it after the game. Compete till the end. In my opinion,
it's not
it's the same in the
power play is like the number 1 in the league. It's been lacking.
Exactly. Like
they need the reps.
That's what I was saying. That's what I was thinking as it was happening. Like they have their guys out there. They need to just get the reps in, like real interact in the game, and they have the opportunity to. So why not do it? I think Alain's being a little sus there, just complaining. So I hope I see some scraps next game.
Bit of a diva, eh?
Yeah, a little bit of a diva.
Your King Clancy Award finalists for 2019-2020 have been announced. Your nominees are Wild defenseman Matthew Dumba, New Jersey Devils defenseman Piquet Subban, and Rangers goaltender Henrik Lundqvist. Favorites?
Matt Dumba.
Absolutely.
Come on, I think it's without a question.
Come on.
I think it says something if they don't give it to Matt Dumba.
Oh, could you imagine?
I think it says something if they don't, honestly. So I think he's the heavy favorite to win that one for sure. Leadership on and off the ice. The biggest news
that dropped today was that Bruins goaltender Tuukka Rask has opted out of the NHL return to play setting for a very good reason that his family is more important than hockey. No
And
question.
his newborn baby.
More I was going to get to that, but she did it for me. He had a baby born in late April, so I think if anybody who's a newborn parent can vouch for us, I think one parent there when a newborn is there is severely tough.
Yeah.
So I think more or less his wife, Tuukka, come back! I can't take this, Tuukka. I can't take. That's definitely the phone call that happened, and I don't blame them. I don't.
No.
He should be there. So do you think this is going to be used as an excuse if the Bruins don't win the cup or make it as far as people think they are?
No, you saw them today. They still won against Carolina with Halak in net. Halak's not a bad goalie himself. He played for the Canadians back when they played Philly again in 2010 when they made the cup final against Philly, and Philly obviously won that one. But he played on his head that series. Hasn't been the same since, obviously, but he's still a good goaltender. You can't be a bad goaltender and be in the NHL. So he's still good, and he's going to be the reliable guy. I think they still won today. You saw it. They competed. They won. So I don't think you can see that being an excuse. But I don't think it's going to be an excuse. Can't be an excuse.
What I thought was very eye-opening to me was Mike Mulberry did the play-by-play commentating for the Bruins that game, and he was a former player for the Bruins, former coach for the Bruins, and he spoke a bit on the whole situation, and he said that I don't think most Bruin fans are going to sympathize with Tuukka Rask.
I think Mike Milbury should be off the air. That's what I think. I think no one really cares about Mike Milbury and his idiotic. It's been like that too. Like this is not the first time Mike Milbury's been an idiot on live television. But now you're seeing it where something.
This is the guy that took a fan's shoe off and started beating him with it.
I'm just sorry. I want to beat him with my shoe. Okay, he is just very very.
Surprised for the next couple hours or tomorrow that you see Mike Milbury's resigned from NBCSN.
Yeah, exactly.
Leafs absolute stud of a player. Austin Matthews is embarrassed from the Leafs not advancing past the first round qualifying round and first round for the fourth straight year. You should be embarrassed, Matthews. You're being paid $11 million to sit at home right now.
Your top line is $30 million.
That's
just gonna leave that there.
Less stress on my life. Leafs aren't playing, so it's okay. And you added this in because I want to hear your take on it since you hate the Bruins, but I hate the Bruins too. Jack Edwards' comments are idiotic. If anyone doesn't know who Jack Edwards is, he happens to be the play-by-play announcer.
The worst announcer in the NHL.
For the Boston Bruins. Probably the biggest homer you ever see.
He is the most, like, every time I hear the Bruins, oh my God,
score!
I can't listen to him speak. I like when I have to listen to like the Habs playing the Bruins and he's the only commentator I can listen to. I'm just gonna watch the highlights later because I cannot. He's so like obviously he's gonna be biased, right? Every commentator is gonna be biased, but this guy's just so biased towards the Bruins on a whole new level. After saying Sheshnikov got injured today, right? And it was kind of like an awkward injury against Chara, and then Jack Edwards comes on and says, "Oh well, when you poke the bear, you're kind of expected it." Like even the Hurricanes Twitter came out and said, "This one should have stayed in the drafts, Jack. Should have stayed in the drafts." And everyone's saying, even like not Danny Heatley on Twitter, he was roasting Mike Milbury and Jack Edwards, saying, "Are you guys serious right now? Are you guys just losing your marbles? Like, what's going on with you two?" Both of them should resign. Both of them should be fired. I don't like them. Never been a fan of them. It's time to change it up for Boston and their commentating and reporting newscasts because there's a bunch of hooligans there right now. Oh my gosh, I just can't stand.
What?
I can't stand them.
Sounds like guy from TikTok, like the ones I always send you. The guy's named Malcolm. Oh my gosh, Jack Edwards.
Oh my god. Yeah, that kid. It's like kid's named Malcolm. Kid's named Malcolm. Are you kidding me? That's funny. That is exactly what I sound like right now. I'm not even gonna lie. But
we got players gonna get you.
We got some baseball news, a bit of baseball news. Joe Kelly, so he wins his appeal and he gets his 8-game suspension reduced to 5. I like to see that. Obviously,
Okay,
he should.
they've already played 8 games. Just take the suspension and shut up.
Yeah, at this point,
And
but
now I ask you
whatever.
some other 5 games.
It's whatever. I don't care. I don't think. I don't know. Whatever. And to me, it's like whatever at this point. That's in the past. Old news. The World Baseball Classic will take place in 2023. So we'll have 20 teams participate and qualifiers. We'll start in the year 2022. So we'll be 2 years older, 2 years wiser when this takes place. What's so funny? I'm just saying facts here. So we'll see the World Baseball Classic. We'll see who comes on top. Maybe Canada will be a bit better. Probably not though. Cleveland pitchers, Mike Clivinger, sorry, and Zach Plezak, were caught breaking protocol. I didn't know about this. They were breaking protocol. Do you know how they're?
So like I'm sure a lot of people have been taking hits of security that like they haven't done anything because everyone's doing it. Finally, security does their job and catches the guys. They were caught leaving the hotel, and they fucking caught them. But yeah, some of the Cleveland players were not too happy to see that these 2 guys have been breaking protocol, and subsequently they have been optioned by the team because they have to be in quarantine now.
Damn.
So they have been demoted to the taxi squad for the next couple of days.
Just follow the rules, guys. Like your egos don't matter.
It's not like there's much rules in baseball anyway.
It's like, bro, like I'm a sports podcaster, and I didn't even know who the hell you guys were. Like your egos shouldn't be that big. You guys are nobodies in baseball. Okay, just calm down, simmer down. Sure, you're making millions of dollars, but who cares? Just follow the rules, just like everyone else. I hate Americans.
Mike Clevenger's a World Series pitcher, but how are you?
Don't care. Still never heard of him. Mookie Betts, heard of him. Been knowing who this guy is. Ties the MLB record with his 6th career 3-run home game. In this game, he had 3 home runs, 4 for 4 at bats, and 5 RBIs. Wow. All I have to say is wow. Wish he would have stayed on the Red Sox still. Still crying myself to sleep. Good thing I never bought a Betts jersey. I was about to, but I just have a Red Sox one with no name on it.
So it's okay.
He's a what?
You're a bum.
Shut up. He's not a bum. He's no bum. But that's just some big news from Mookie there, proving why he's worth so much money. St. Louis will return to play today with a doubleheader against the White Sox. The Chicago White Sox signals
It does not, because I think just a couple hours ago, Reds Pirates series postponed due to COVID outbreak.
So there are. I was going to say there's no outbreaks, but there are, because guess what, MLB, you still don't have a bubble, and bubbles work. Oh, that pisses me off. Ronald Acuna Jr. to miss time to deal with an injured wrist, according to manager Brian Snicker. Ace Mike Soroka already done for the season with a torn Achilles as well.
Canadian pitcher
for the team. So what's going to happen there with them? What's going to go on?
I like them win. They should have been a World Series contender at the start of the year. But come on. Like, they're disgusting. Freddie Freeman, Canadian, how are you? Should be getting MVP votes. Ozzie Albies is a great player. Dansby Swanson, Nick Markakis coming back. They're a good team, man. But Acuna is going to be gone for a time. You lost your best pitcher, Mike Soroka. Dumpster fire right now. It's tough to see.
Hate to see it. Don't really care. Dodger Stadium will become a polling site for the presidential election this November. #Trump 2020. Just kidding. After the Dodgers partner with LeBron James more than a vote group. And obviously LeBron wants to get that set up for the NBA.
Up with this Trump Kamala Harris talk.
Oh, I love yes, I have. Okay. Okay, I want to get into this a little bit here because Biden, right, picked Kamala Harris, who's a great candidate to be the vice president, but also a lot of people bashing him for picking Kamala Harris because she is a corrupt.
Not Camilla.
Kamala, because she's a corrupt cop, correct? So she locked up. This is just what I wanted to read in more about everything because I knew about Kamala beforehand. My mom was like, look at my
mom wanting Kamala.
Yeah, my mom was like, way before. She's like, wait for this lady to become president. I'm like, okay. But so apparently she's locked up a bunch of bunch of brothers in jail for smoking the Mary Jane, right? She goes on breakfast. She
The
goes on
Mary
breakfast. No, she goes on
The Devil's
Breakfast Club.
Lettuce, eh?
You know the Breakfast Club podcast, better well known podcast than us.
I don't know,
Oh,
actually.
you don't know? I can't
I do
remember
now.
who's
I
on.
do now.
But if you look them up, you probably recognize it. You probably seen it around TikTok or other stuff like that. But they're a well-known podcast as well. And she came onto the Breakfast Club podcast, and she's admitted to having smoking weed. And then people were like, "Well, then let our brothers out. Like, what's going on? Why can't you let them out for doing?" So, and people were just calling her a corrupt cop. But at the same time, I think she was the best candidate for Joe Biden to be vice president. I think they can take Trump and Pence down. Take them down. Take
Have
a
you been seeing what Trump and his authorities have been saying about Kamala Harris?
no, like what? Like
Oh,
what?
there's no way she's born in the U.S. There's no way. I want to see their birth. I want to see her birth certificate.
Of course, because
And
she's
then,
Asian
oh,
American, African
and
American.
then it was, oh, she's born. What about her parents? I bet they came here illegally when they had her.
Come on, man. I think she's gonna do a great job if
And you know what?
Biden wins.
I just
So.
found this out today that Trump put in one of his boys to be one of the heads for a postal service, the postal service in the U.S.
Oh, that's a big issue too in the U.S. Oh my
And
gosh.
that is going to be the main way people are going to be voting in November through the mail. And if Trump's boy is leading the vote, is leading the post mail, and he's going to be the last guy getting the votes, I wonder who he's going to side with to maybe slide the election.
It's
But
gonna be.
Kamala Harris attended Westmount High in Montreal. So come on, come on.
I think she's a smart lady. I think she's gonna be a good choice for them. So, enough about politics. We got back to baseball. Justin Verlander hopes to begin throwing next week in hopes of making a return this season.
I
Obviously,
envy that
Justin.
guy, man.
What? Because Kate Upton?
Abso-freaking-lutely.
I knew that.
Oh, what a stud. I'm not talking about Verlander. College sports. Big Ten and the Pac-12 conferences become the first of the Power 5 conferences to cancel fall season. So what do you think this is going to have on repercussions on the draft or next season for college football?
The draft obviously going to take away from the players being able to showcase their abilities because other than the combine, you have your season to showcase why you deserve to be picked, right, for the next season. And it's going to be a lot for those players to handle, but at the same time, I think it's the best thing to do is to push the fall seasons back. And I don't know, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. And for next season and everything, like you said, it's going to be really, 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 really tough for everyone to get back on track. Even like these next professional leagues, how are they going to get back on track to their regular scheduled programming and where they start at the right time and everything? I don't know how they're going to do it, but it's going to be something that we're going to have to witness and see how they overcome it.
I think Urban Meyer, former Ohio State coach, put it so great that I don't think you can expect kids to play 2 seasons in a year. And that's what they're shaping up to do right now. Like they're going to play a spring season and then come back and play their regular season in the fall. So I don't think it's possible. So I think they should just scrap the season altogether. If they can't do it, then they shouldn't. Just to keep everyone's safety and their health and tip-top condition. But some big Power 5 conferences are following those rules because the Big 12 announced their schedule for their upcoming season. And week 1 would begin September 26th, and the title game be December the 12th. Hot take, Malcolm?
No, I don't want to get into it. Because I think I've explained myself enough, and I think people know about what I think about starting things too early and not caring about what's going on right now, especially in the United States of jokes. So
I think it's just very interesting because it's this conference. Because if you list off a couple of the teams and the demographics that follow them, I think you see some similarities because you have Texas, Baylor, Oklahoma, Kansas,
okay. Oh, okay. I see what you're trying to say here. Yeah.
the White South.
Yeah.
That don't believe in Corona.
They all think it's a hoax, a conspiracy, but whatever. Let them do them. Pass Corona along to each other.
NCAA officials are planning for a March Madness tournament in 2021. Do you think there's like you said with the regional formats possibly they can pull off a 64 team bubble?
Not with kids, bro. Not with kids, bro. Not with university students. You're already trying to see these professional athletes trying to sneak in their girls or their family or whatnot. You think these teenagers are going to think any better? No. No, no chance. I don't think it's possible. No.
I think it's
Sorry.
pretty like they already do it pretty close now, right? Like they play in regional sites, they travel and they stay there, right? So I think they can do it. Like you do the regional bubble, but I think it's going to take really long to get it done because like you have to quarantine for a couple of days and then go to the hotel and then play your game. So I think they can just space it out to play off for quarantine time for testing in between rounds. They could do it. I think they can. 9 Oklahoma players have tested positive for COVID-19. This is according to their coach, Lincoln Riley. And, Oklahoma happens to be part of the Big 12 Conference.
Oh, no big deal.
Exactly. And the first AP Top 25 poll will be dropping August 24th. So maybe I would be very curious to see what that poll is going to look like if the Big Ten and Pac-12 will cancel their fall season. So if any of their teams will be included in it.
Maybe we'll see. That comes in a week and a bit, so we'll get into that not next week, but probably the week after.
9 days.
How many days? 10 days?
9.
Oh, 9 days. Oh, it's the 15th today. My bad. But some other news, some tennis and fighting news. So Canadian Bianca Andreescu withdraws from the U.S. Open.
The defending champ.
Defending champion. So she joins number 1 Ashley Barty and top 10 players Elena Svitolina and Kiki Bertans, who also opted out. So that's some big news. Bianca felt that she wasn't in the best shape due to coronavirus and the quarantine and everything, and she's going to work her way back up. Also, probably doesn't feel safe going to the U.S. In my opinion, I don't think so. But she also joins the men's champ last year, Rafael Nadal, who's also opted out. But we do have Mr. Novak Djokovic, who will play even after, who also did catch coronavirus with his wife this year, but he's not worried. He's caught it. He feels like he's immune. He's a god or something. So he's joining, and he's going to be playing in the U.S. Open. I don't know how many names you're going to see. I think you'll see more big names pull out than actually joining this year. We want to get into the fighting news tonight.
UFC 252 coming your way live from Las Vegas tonight. As the main event, the trilogy fight for the UFC Heavyweight Championship of the world. And it's Stipe Miocic, your champion hailing from Cleveland, Ohio. How are you? Against the living legend, stepping off the commentary booth and hopping into his final fight in UFC, Daniel Cormier. Very excited. Obviously, I want to be rooting for Cormier because it'd be a great swan song to end his career off. He's not the betting favorite. Obviously, Stipe is because he is the defending champion. But they are 1-1 in their 2 previous fights. So this will be the final fight for DC and the final fight in the trilogy. So hopefully DC can pull it off and become the UFC heavyweight champion, but I just don't see it. So I think Stipe is going to win, but I would love it if DC won.
And that caps it off this week, everybody, for the news that you hear this week. I feel like there's a lot of news this week, and some good news too, some like more entertaining news since the playoffs are starting for more leagues. Things are starting to look up in the world. I think you guys can kind of hope for some more uplifting news in coming months rather than just coronavirus. I think you should be hearing more about Black Lives Matter. We're not hearing that enough. I think everything's becoming kind of a trend in today's world with social media. Hot take by Malcolm here, but it's true. And I feel like a lot of people, including myself, I'm not going to discount myself at all. A lot of people, like, for things that go in the world, we see it as trends, and with social media, it really impacts on how we view things nowadays. And we gotta stay focused on what really matters in this world, and not worry about what the Kardashians are doing or how big Kylie Jenner's butt is nowadays. Like, we don't have to worry about that stuff. We gotta worry about the real stuff that's going on.
You're worrying about that?
Pardon?
You're worrying about that?
I'm not worried about that, but I know a few guys. I'm not kidding. I know a few guys who are. So I just want to say that there's other things to really stand up for today. And that's what I want to say. I want to end it off that way. What do you want to say? Anything you want to say?
Before I hear let's Money Malcolm. Just like to point out today, saw a pretty nice 74 in golf, 6 birdies. The guys who are playing with Mr. Connor Brabert and Jack Foster be saying it should be Money Murchison rather than Money Malcolm after that last round.
Wow.
So
okay.
I know. But
Steal my nickname.
Might have to take it up with those guys to relinquish the Money Malcolm name.
No, thank you.
No. But yeah, Fantasy Friday coming to you live in 6 days. And there'll be a new name, a new logo, and new rebrand from this podcast. Stay tuned.
Get ready.
It's going to be lit.
Signing off, Money Malcolm.
This episode of Unfinished Business is presented by Anchor. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. It's free.
There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer.
Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more.
You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership.
And it is everything you need to make a podcast in one place.
Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.